I am a 27-year-old female who does not live at home, does not take money from my parents, and doesn't really rely on them for anything. I have a job and just put a down payment on my first home. My parents think I'm a helpless damsel. I had to get the locks changed on my apartment because they had an emergency key that they used randomly. When I asked for it back, they refused. One of my friends recently went on a date with a creepy guy who put an Apple tracker in her car. She has an app that detects them, so she found a tracker and tossed it in the river. I got the app because I'm out there dating, and I got concerned after hearing this story. I'm seeing someone right now, and it seems to be going well. He seems like a decent fellow. Yes, that's a Princess Bride quote, anyway. I found a tracker on my car. I thought it was the guy, and I didn't want to give him any clue that I saw it, so I tossed it onto a pallet of produce. My company has headed to Edmonton, Canada. It turns out it wasn't him. I didn't see my parents this weekend but went golfing instead. The guy I was seeing called, but I said I was busy, and he was cool with it. My parents, on the other hand, called me a dozen times. I said I was golfing, and when they asked where, I told them. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and had fun with my friends. My dad called me from Boise, Idaho, to ask why I threw away their tracker. They found it before reaching the border. I laughed and said I would have to apologize to the guy I was seeing because I assumed he was doing something shady. My parents are upset that I scared them and called me ungrateful for making light of their concerns. So, am I the idiot for sending my parents on a wild goose chase that almost got to the Canadian border? I might be the idiot for not appreciating that they care enough about me to stalk me, but obviously not the idiot. Good job all around. But in the real world, this is grounds for a restraining order. You need to cut contact and set a ton of boundaries because this isn't the way parents treat helpless damsels. This is controlling and insane, and it will only escalate. What happens when they show up to your job to check on you? What happens when they start tailing your future fiancé? What happens when they decide you aren't parenting your toddler right and try to pick her up from school? The way OP told the story is funny, but the content is much less. The use of the key and the tracking is a reason for serious concern. OP is almost 30, and this is the worst case of helicopter parents I've read in a while. Recently, the chief of staff for my mayor was arrested for stalking. What did he do? He put an Apple tag on a woman's car. He did, and was charged with some other things, but the Apple tag sealed the deal on the stalking charge. This level of helicopter parenting on an almost 30-year-old is nuts. Have a sit-down meal with your parents at a nice restaurant. People are less likely to make a scene if they're somewhere nice or in public. Tell them that the tracker was out of line and that it was stalker-level behavior. They need to be treating you like a capable adult. You don't need to list out accomplishments to them, as they already know what you have going on and have still chosen to behave this way. Tracking your every move on their phones like creeps, this is not okay and not how parents build a healthy relationship with their child. They called me ungrateful. Why do they keep using that word? I do not think it means what they think it means. They should be grateful you allow them in your life after shenanigans like this, and with the level of intrusion they're attempting. This is insane, stalkerish behavior. Since they won't set reasonable boundaries, you need to. Good luck keeping them in line. I, a 37-year-old female, have 2 kids from my previous marriage, a tween and a pre-tween. A few months ago, my current husband started having issues. At the very end of last month, his doctor called and said it was likely a form of cancer. We dropped my kids off with my parents and went. It was cancer, and he was admitted to start treatments. What was supposed to be 3 or 4 days turned into a month's stay. I asked my ex if he wanted to stay with my kids at our home, but he said he couldn't take that much time off work. He could only do weekends, so my kids stay with my parents. Given the circumstances, I could be there for my husband and give him the support he needed and what care I could when he could have visitors. My in-laws brought my kids twice to visit. The second time they didn't speak to anyone and wanted to sit outside the room. Thursday was their last day of school, and for the custody arrangement, they had to be with their father starting yesterday. Typically, my ex and I meet halfway since it's a 5-hour drive, but this time, I asked him to come pick them up. He did, and I asked him to bring the kids to the hospital so I could see them before they went. He called and told me the kids didn't want to see me. I didn't believe that because my kids love me, and handoffs have never been an issue. I insisted he brought the kids, but they wouldn't get out of the car no matter how many times I asked or even told them to. I looked to my ex for backup, but he wasn't going to force them. He told me he understands I have a lot going on, and my husband needs me, but her kids need me too. He said that if he was able to leave his girlfriend 3 weekends in a row to be with our kids, I should have been able to show up at least 1 day a week. Since yesterday, I've been texting and calling my ex to have him put the kids on the phone and pass on my messages, and he says they still don't want to talk to me. I thought I was doing the right thing and that my kids would understand. Am I the idiot for leaving my kids with my parents for a month before summer vacation to support my husband? The hospital is an hour away from where we live. I did tell my kids what was going on. I talked to them daily via the phone and did video calls with them sometimes. We both did while I sat with him during his treatment, and we all watched a movie together during the evening via phone call. So, you stay at the hospital 24/7. What about work? Why couldn't you go home? Why did you have to stay and not just visit? You are the idiot for abandoning your children. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so there isn't a work issue. The ward allows spouses and parents of minor patients to stay overnight, and his boss has paid for a nearby motel room I can use for showering and sleep. 2 hours is a lot to drive each day. I'm staying because my husband needs me while he goes through this. You're a damn stay-at-home mom on top of it. Pathetic. 2 hours is a lot to drive each day. Oh, cry me a damn river. That's just lazy. Isn't this an oxymoron? You weren't a mom for that month, were you? You could have and should have gone and seen your kids. They needed you. I'm sorry, but your husband is an adult. He doesn't need someone with him 24/7. She wouldn't drive an hour to see the kids. This is insane. What makes it worse is that OP'd abandoned the children for her new husband, not their father. Stepchildren often feel like the new parent is replacing them. OP just showed them that the new husband is more important than they are. Your husband was admitted for a month in the same city where you live, and you weren't working, so you had 16 hours a day, assuming 8 hours of sleep, and you didn't get your butt in the car once to see your young children. Underscore 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 underscore. I, 32 female, have 2 stepchildren, a male teen and a young female teen, and 2 biological children, a male preschooler and a male toddler. I don't have a very good relationship with my stepkids right now, and they don't have a good relationship with their half-siblings. This makes having family time together a very rough experience. It's also impossible for us all to have a good time if I take all 4 kids anywhere alone. It's a mess. So when my sister asked me if I'd like to have a beach weekend when my husband is out of town for work next month, I said sure. Her husband owns a beach house, and she was planning to go with her kids and our mutual best friend and her kids. My mother-in-law didn't like the plan because my stepkids would be with their mom, and she felt something like this should wait until I had the kids, even though nobody would have fun doing this. My husband TJ supported me going and told his parents as much. I admit I'm conflicted. For those who need background, I met TJ 12 years ago. My stepkids were both toddlers, and their mother was also engaged to someone at the time. We got along fine. TJ and I got married after 2 years together. Not long after, things changed with the kid's mother. Her engagement broke down sometime before TJ and I married, and a while after my marriage, she became very toxic and angry. She hated me most of all and accused me of trying to replace her with the kids and make her look like a bad mom. None of this is true. This started years of alienation and an unsettled parenting time split with the court, sometimes taking custody from her, giving her every other weekend, or 50-50ths. Currently, it's 50-50ths. The kids are in therapy. We've all been ordered intermediation, co-parenting classes, family therapy as a group of 5, and therapy between TJ and the mom. She's been arrested 3 times, which has influenced the court's rulings on custody at times. The kids believe that I'm trying to replace her. They believe I try to make her look bad. They hate me. When they interact with me, they tell me I'm not their mom, and they won't do chores when only I'm home, or they won't go to the store with me. My husband ended up hiring someone to help when he worked. They behave way better with him, except where our bio kids together are concerned. They have been punished at times for their behavior. It's not ideal. It doesn't work. They're still in therapy. I don't need them to love me, but to not get angry and lash out from my presence would be ideal. To not be cruel to their half-siblings is so tough. Finding the right balance between supporting and loving them and being here without overstepping or inserting myself where they don't want me and making things worse is difficult. What's hardest is that my husband's family believes I'm better for the kids than their mom is. They encourage me to build up a mom relationship with them, and they judge me for not trying to give the kids that. Underscore 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 underscore. Am I the idiot if I go with just my kids to the beach? Go to the beach with your 2 kids, enjoy it, and ignore any input from your mother-in-law. Not the idiot. Your life doesn't stop when your kids are at their mother's house. You can be invited to places, have holidays, and have other experiences that don't include them. Your husband is the one who has shared custody, not you. If your husband isn't in town, his custodial time shouldn't be taken care of by you, who is not their parent, especially when the children feel so strongly against you. While your husband isn't home, you should be free to do whatever you want with your children without including his children, as they're not yours, and you do not have custody of them. This is a good. Perhaps when the husband isn't around, the stepkids need to automatically go back to their moms. That way, they're with a parent all of the time. Enjoy your weekend. If they can't treat you nicely, they don't get to have a nice time either. Your bio kids don't deserve to be treated cruelly. I had a friend with benefits, Lisa. I gained feelings and asked her if we could be more. She said that I was a nice guy and enjoyed the intimacy, but she couldn't really imagine a relationship with me. She said we should just go back to being friends. So we did. She dated a bunch of other guys, and I met a few women I liked. We stayed friends, and I never pushed for more, not even going back to how it was. I started dating my fiancée, Laura, a few years ago, and she became friends with Lisa. She knows about our past relationship and is okay with it as long as I respect her boundaries, which I always have and will. We got engaged last weekend. No wedding plans yet, but she is the one. Lisa called me yesterday and asked me if I got engaged. I told her yes. She asked me why I would do that since she was waiting for me to break up with Laura so we could try again, now that I've proven I could be in a relationship. I told her we couldn't be friends anymore and immediately told Laura what happened. She told me I shouldn't, not couldn't, hang around with Lisa anymore. I told her that I already said we couldn't be friends. A few of our friends from college have told me I'm an idiot for cutting Lisa out since I knew she always had a thing for me. I said that nobody informed me that I was her backup plan. I wouldn't have been interested if I'd known. I'm no one's second choice. Lisa asked me to have coffee with her to talk. I went after I told Laura what I was up to. Lisa said I was an idiot for not telling her I was serious about Laura and planning on getting engaged. She was waiting for me to tell her so she could tell me she was ready for me now. What she said, she didn't realize how serious we were, since Laura and I don't live together yet. We both live with our parents to save money for life. My folks are semi-retired and spend 9 months of the year away on vacations. Laura's parents are happy to have her there to help with her younger siblings. I know I made the right decision cutting her off, but I'm wondering how the heck I was supposed to know. I'll be honest, if Lisa had told me in the first year of my relationship with Laura that she was ready, I might have considered it. Laura and I were dating but not serious. How was it my fault as she never informed me? Underscore 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 underscore. Lisa is gaslighting you because of the shock and horror at her failure to secure you as her backup plan, not expecting you to be freed of her leash while she played mind games with you. Tough luck for her, you moved on. Congratulations on your engagement. Also, she was lying, waiting for me to break up with Laura so we could try again now that I've proven I can be in a relationship. Come on, man, you weren't a backup plan. Dude, you were an option. One that she didn't like losing because her rejection of you validated that someone wanted her. Had you been dumb enough to dump Laura, Lisa would have gotten her validation fix and changed her mind right after. You're good. A real friend would be happy for you, not going, what about me? Underscore 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 underscore. My 27th daughter, toddler, had a birthday last month, and my mother-in-law, 72, is planning to give her an expensive necklace that had been in the family for almost 100 years. According to her, it belongs to my daughter because it was always given to the first daughter of the firstborn son. Honestly, I don't like the idea that only one of my daughters has something valuable and the other doesn't. We have an infant daughter too. So I told my mother-in-law that I appreciated her intention, but didn't want to continue with the tradition, knowing that in the future it could lead to fights between my daughters. Of course, she was offended. My husband, 49, said I should have accepted the gift, and that in the future we could buy a similar necklace for our other daughter. But I told him that it wasn't the same for me, and that I didn't want the necklace. Our toddler or daughter would be happier with a $10 doll than a necklace that's probably worth about $15,000. A necklace, by the way, she will not be able to wear until she's at least 18 years old. Long story short, my husband understood, but the rest of his family thinks I was rude in rejecting a gift with so much sentimental value. However, I don't think that's the case. If they told me that the necklace was for all the girls, I would have accepted it. But they have this stupid rule that it only belongs to the firstborn daughter and that she can't give it to anyone else. They put a lot of emphasis on that, and that's what bothers me the most because they act like my oldest daughter is some kind of saint, and they rarely pay attention to my youngest daughter. Underscore 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 underscore. It was very rude. Plus, it's not your place to decline the gift. It wasn't to you, it was to your daughter. You should have graciously accepted it and told your mother-in-law that you would put it somewhere safe until your daughter was old enough to responsibly care for it on her own. What will you say if she tries gifting it again when your daughter turns 18? Try to interfere then as well? Or what if she gives it to someone else and your daughter later learns that you intentionally kept her from participating in a long-held family tradition? You are the idiot. It also sounds like OP has a favorite, but it's not the eldest. Your mother-in-law is 72. By the time your daughter is 18, your mother will be 87 if she's still here. She probably wanted to give it to her now, before her health or memory went downhill. Your daughter will not forgive you if you don't let her get the necklace. She may not want it now, but it will be important later in life. Trust me. Also, there's a gross age gap. How old were you when you started dating your nearly 50-year-old boyfriend? Definitely, you are the idiot and you should apologize to your middle-aged husband.